Alright, so Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvilli II seems to be basically confirmed as the next fight for the bantamweight title. And I genuinely do not understand how anyone thinks that this is a good idea or why this is even happening in the first place. But first, I'd appreciate if you guys could like and subscribe. We're really close to 600 subs, so it would really help out a lot. Anyway, let me get into it. Now, starting off with the most important person in deciding who should get a title shot next, Dana White responded to a reporter's question asking why they're leaning so much towards Merab versus Sean O'Malley II.
How did we get there with so many different options? I think for Sean O'Malley, we could have done maybe an Aldo possibility. There's, especially with him, so many options. How did the bantamweight division shake?
They want to fight each other. I think people want to see it.
Now, I don't know if John Jones's bone has made this guy go insane, but I don't know what people he could possibly be talking about here. Because I genuinely do not think I've seen a single person even mention Sean O'Malley versus Merab II. I don't think a single person outside of like Sean O'Malley and Merab actually want to see this fight happen. Now, maybe John Jones is leaving him for another man and all the stress has caused him to become a schizophrenic. Because I genuinely cannot comprehend why he would ever think that anyone would want to see that fight again. Because not only is no one talking about that fight on social media, no one is asking for it. That first fight was terrible and probably the second worst title fight of 2024. Like, genuinely, I don't know how this guy could ever watch that fight and think that people would actually want to see that again. Okay, it wasn't like the worst fight ever or anything, but it wasn't exactly a very entertaining fight either. Okay, it was pretty boring. Basically nothing happened in the entire fight apart from Merab kissing Sean O'Malley for some reason. Maybe that's what piqued his interest, but do that in your own time, okay? Don't put that on a pay-per-view for the belt. Now, not only does this not make sense like entertainment wise, I can't imagine this is a good idea pay-per-view wise either, okay? Because the first fight was so boring, and on top of that, neither of these guys are really like huge stars, okay? Merab has a fairly big fan base. I think he's honestly a bigger star than O'Malley right now, but Sean O'Malley, for some reason in Dana's head, Sean O'Malley is like this huge Conor McGregor level star, when he's literally not, okay? Like, Sean O'Malley lost, and I really don't think that many people cared. When you compare that to Alex Pereira, who just lost his belt, and who actually is a huge star, so many people were upset when he lost, okay? That didn't happen with Sean O'Malley, at least not to the same level, okay? In any pay-per-view that Sean O'Malley did that sold really well, I really can't imagine it was because of O'Malley, okay? If you look at 299, that card was just absolutely stacked to the brim, and then on top of that, with UFC 306, I mean, it was in the sphere. I feel like a lot of people wanted to go see that, so I really don't know why Dana would want to do this, because it's probably not going to make him a lot of money, and on top of that, it's not even a good fight for the fans either. But this fight just makes absolutely no sense ranking wise as well, because Sean O'Malley wasn't this like dominant champion who was just KOing absolutely everybody, had like a million title defenses. No, bro, he had one title defense and it was against Chito Vera. That is not even an impressive title defense, okay? It's not like Ilia Topuria where his one title defense before moving up was like Max Holloway. You know, that's like absolutely crazy to KO Max Holloway. Sean O'Malley didn't even KO Chito Vera, and for some reason, he's getting an immediate rematch. Now, I think this sucks the most for the fans because Sean O'Malley has so many interesting matchups outside of the top 10 rather than just fighting Merab again. I mean, he could fight Sanhagen, which is a match that absolutely everybody wants, okay? I'm surprised they have not made this yet, but for some reason, the UFC just do not want to make this matchup. I have no idea why, okay? He could also fight Umar, which I think would be a really cool matchup to see, and also Petr Yan too. That would also be a really crazy fight that Lucas Tracy has been saying for the longest time that they should just put on the same pay-per-view as Merab versus Pantoja, but for some reason they're just not doing it, and I really don't understand why they feel the need to give Sean O'Malley an immediate rematch, because again, he doesn't really deserve it, and he's not even a big star either, okay? I feel like the most controversial thing, or the thing that's gained the most attention from his career in the past like year, was that whole thing with Schmitty where he didn't get invited to an after party. Now, I think Merab is the weirdest guy in this situation because for some reason he wants this fight the most, and I really have absolutely no idea why. I mean, it does absolutely nothing for his legacy. I mean, it's not really a huge money fight compared to every single other fight in the division, and on top of that, I just saw this guy chilling in the sauna with Sean O'Malley the other day, yet for some reason it seems like Merab Dvalishvilli is the one who is pushing for the Sean O'Malley fight the most, and I really feel like that's why he's such an unlikable champ for me. I know everyone kind of just loves him right now, but for some reason this guy is just calling for the most like nonsense matchups I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this guy was calling for Davison Figueiredo, Sean O'Malley, and I think Petr Yan, without even mentioning Umar's name once, okay? This was before they had fought. Obviously, they did fight afterwards, but he keeps asking for these fights that literally make no sense at all, okay? Does nothing for him, does nothing for his legacy, doesn't earn him any more money than any other fight in the division. It makes no sense to me. Why not call out a guy like Pantoja, okay? Pantoja is like on a dominant reign right now. It would do so much for your legacy. On top of that, that fight is there, okay? I'm pretty sure Pantoja's calling for it as well. But for some reason, Merab is asking for Sean O'Malley, like the easiest fight he could possibly have. Now, considering that Dana White said he's leaning towards this fight, Merab wants this fight, Sean O'Malley wants this fight, I can only assume that this is probably going to be the next fight for the bantamweight title, and I honestly hate this, okay? I really hope this doesn't happen, okay? I know there's a lack of contenders right now at bantamweight. There's no one really there for the belt, okay? You know, there's like Piotr Jan, but you know, Merab has already dominated him, but I really do think that the Pantoja matchup is like right there, okay? Pantoja doesn't really have anyone to fight either, okay? Outside of like Manel Kape, but even then, I don't really think Manel Kape is like that big of a fight that they should just do that now. And then obviously there's like Kai Kara France as well, but again, I don't really think that's a big fight. But Pantoja Merab is genuinely like an actually big fight. I really do think that is one of those fights that maybe would go under the radar, but when it's actually happening, it would be huge, because that fight would be an absolute banger, okay? You have two absolute just marauders, okay? Guys who just do not care, aren't really that good anywhere, okay? Pantoja is way more skilled than Merab, but he's also going to be the smaller guy in there. Merab is a huge bantamweight already, so I just think that would be such a much more interesting matchup than Sean O'Malley versus Merab 2, okay? I still don't understand why they would ever want to do this matchup. It makes no sense in like any aspect that you think about it, but I guess if there's no other contender at bantamweight, it can't really hurt that bad to just get Sean O'Malley in before a new contender arises. But I really do think that instead of giving Merab that Sean O'Malley fight, I think they should probably just do a #1 contenders fight. I know that would be absolutely crazy if they just did a #1 contenders fight instead of making him fight some like random guy who doesn't really deserve it. Obviously Sean O'Malley isn't a random guy, but you know what I mean? Like, this fight just makes no sense. Like, I honestly think that they should have just done Merab versus Umar 2, considering that fight was so huge when it happened, okay? That probably was like one of the most controversial fights in like recent memory. I don't know why they wouldn't run that back first, because the first fight was so popular. On top of that, it was so close as well, okay? Umar versus Merab, I know everyone's like, man, bro, Merab absolutely dominated Umar, but that didn't even actually happen, okay? That's like almost like a CGI situation, bro. Everyone's talking about Merab dominating Umar. It was like a 48-47 that honestly could have gone either way when you watch the fight, okay? I really do think that a rematch between Umar and Merab would be absolutely massive if it actually happened, okay? But, you know, I get it, bro. Umar doesn't really deserve it. He needs to get one more fight in, but I would much rather see that than the Sean O'Malley fight, okay? But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, okay? I'm going to have a part 2 for this, kind of. I want to talk about Pantoja and the Merab fight, maybe tomorrow or Friday. So if you enjoyed this video, look forward to that on like Thursday or Friday. Anyway, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Alright.
Finna take that lounge truck to Japan. I'm like, little nigga, get your bands up. Yes, she can.